Alright, welcome back to another YouTube video, guys. In this video, I'm gonna explain how I was able to turn my life around from being this fat, overweight kid, unconfident, insecure, unhappy, low testosterone, not respected, and an outsider, to this sexy man who has higher tests, is more confident, has more energy, is more happy, is respected more noticeable, and finally has the freedom to take off his shirt. In this video, we're not going to talk about some basic calories in, calories out, having 10,000 steps every single day, having a training split. No. We're going to talk about the right mindset shifts I implemented in order to make this transformation. Because everyone knows how to lose weight, but no one's actually implementing the things they learned from these YouTube videos. And I was exactly that person. I knew exactly what to do, but I just never implemented those things and actually made a change until I made these mindset shifts. So without further ado, we'll get straight into the video. This was me a couple years back. Like I said, I was unmotivated, I was insecure, I was unhappy, I had low testosterone, I was unconfident, not respected, and an outsider. What do I mean by outsider? I did not socialize because I was not confident with how I looked. And obviously, who would be confident looking like this? I mean, this picture, you could tell how fat I was, how overweight I was. You could tell by these man boobs, and they're just sagging. They're going this way. All right, anyways. Yeah, I didn't want to get my picture taken because I knew how fat and ugly I looked. I'm ugly. I was ugly here. I'm be 100%. And I mean, like, who would disagree with me? Who would disagree with me? I was chubby, overweight, love handles, man boobs, and I had zero muscle at all. Zero muscle. Double chin, crazy double chin on this one. Oh my gosh. I had like an oval face. Obviously my face doesn't change, but I don't have these cheeks anymore, right? But yeah, I had a double chin, insane double chin on this one actually. Yeah, I was just an overweight kid, and it did not feel nice. Fast forward a couple years, this is me now. Have higher testosterone, I'm more confident, have more energy, I'm happy, I'm actually respected by other people, I'm more noticed, and I have the freedom to take off my shirt everywhere I go. Obviously, I'm not going to take off my shirt, eating at a restaurant or something like that. I mean more like the beach or water park or even, outside in general. So yeah, this is me now. I mean, if you ask me, I have a much better jawline. I actually have a solid physique, a nice V-taper look, some abs. This was me during my bulk actually. Some abs, like I just mentioned, nice jawline, have a V-taper look. I actually have some muscle now. My arms don't look like, right here, horrible. But yeah, I feel much happier, much better in this position than I was a couple years back. Until I actually made the right mindset shift, I was able to, go from being here, not confident in myself, from being here, more confident, actually go up to people now, actually go up to girls, because obviously I was not confident back then. And what kind of girl would, flirt with this dude on the left? No one. Probably my mom. Okay, but yeah, when I was here, I had these things in my mind that just kept holding me back, and it kept me stuck in this exact spot for months. And I just kept telling myself, I'll never change. I'll never be like him. Compare myself to a fitness influencer or a friend who was already in shape. What's the point now? And that mindset just held me back so much. It held me back so much until I was able to make the right mindset shifts, which I'll get into right now. I was actually able to transform my body, look more confident. I mean, look at this sexy beast. And we're not calling this guy sexy beast. All right, so we'll get straight into it. This is the first This is extremely important. This is why I have it as number one. your environment matters. It matters so much. When I was overweight, man, I would be eating junk food. I wasn't overweight in this picture, but dude, I would be, I mean, like, I didn't even have to tell you that I was eating junk food. Look at me. Look at me. I was eating junk food because most of my friends were also eating junk food. Until I was actually able to change my environment, change who I, ate around, trained around, especially eating, right? Now I'm eating freaking 6 steaks. I'm not eating all those steaks, obviously. But now instead of getting a 6-piece crumble cookie, I'm getting a 6-piece ribeye pack. And we're eating ribeyes now for dessert, not freaking 6-piece crumble cookie. Something I noticed was that my environment was holding me back so much. I surrounded myself with people that didn't really have the right mindset as me, didn't want to change their eating habits, didn't want to change their daily habits, until I actually surrounded myself with people who cared about their looks, cared about what they had going for themselves, actually went to the gym, and we were able to push each other, When you have that gym partner, you're able to push each other to push an extra rep, to go 5 pounds heavier. When you have that partner with you. Doing it by yourself is kind of hard. And doing it with people that don't have the right mindset, it is practically impossible. Separate yourself from those people who are not in the same mindset, because if you surround yourself with 4 people that drink, you're probably gonna end up drinking as well. So yeah, keep that in mind as the first most important step. Change your environment. All right, now the second mindset shift that I implemented was that I saw myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but I literally saw myself. I visualized who I was gonna be. When I was here, I visualized someone with a nice jawline, some cheekbones, a little bit, and actually looked extremely attractive. That's who I saw myself in the future. A curly head who was, had a goatee, nice jawline, cheekbones, 6-pack. I visualized all of that, and I saw myself there already. And that's the mindset you need to have. You need to physically see yourself there. I stopped telling myself, this is who I am. Instead, I started acting like the person I wanted to become even before I looked the part. So I knew this version of Josh goes to the gym every day, tracks his calories, makes the right food choices, surrounds himself with people that push each other every single day. All of this I kept in mind, and I started implementing it when I looked like this. I started acting as that 2.0 Joshua, and that's how I was able to finally reach that version of him that I was always chasing. And the third mindset shift was, it was pretty huge, because this was mainly in the COVID year. I stopped seeking comfort and I started seeking growth. Many people find comfort in many other things. Some people watch anime, some people watch Netflix, YouTube, movies. I used to play a lot of video games. This was when Fortnite was popping. I used to play Fortnite every single day, every single night. I would just sit in the same couch for hours. I would probably end up the whole day with 1,000 steps. And that was my comfort zone, video games. It kept me stuck, and I realized the only way to change was to step into the uncomfortable things I've been avoiding. A habit I started recently implementing was waking up at 5 a.m. every single morning. Obviously, no one wants to do that. And that's the point. You do something that is uncomfortable, and that just trains your discipline. It trains your mind to actually do things that are uncomfortable. Because that 2.0 version of yourself doesn't do comfortable things. He does uncomfortable things to get where he needs to be. He needs to take those risks. And that's how I started acting. I stopped seeking comfort by playing video games, and I actually took a step forward and started hitting the gym. I replaced video games with going to the gym. I fell in love with the gym, and that was the best thing that has ever happened, falling in love with the gym. So stop seeking comfort in whatever you do, binge eating, watching Netflix, watching anime, playing video games like I did, and actually step out your comfort zone. Because you're never gonna grow if you don't step out your comfort zone. If I was still playing video games, I wouldn't look like this sexy beast right here. I really wouldn't. I'd be stuck in that comfort zone. I would probably keep telling myself, I don't need to change. I'm fine where I'm at. Playing video games is so fun. And that's probably what you're telling yourself. So step out that comfort zone if you actually want change. Only if you actually want change. What the heck? Why is this? All right. Well, let's pretend this says number 4, okay? All right. I don't know why it's a 3. The 4th mindset shift was, this is a pretty basic one. I shouldn't have this on this list. But I talk to so many people and they tell me, I don't have the motivation, bro. You have to stop relying on motivation. Motivation is gonna get you nowhere. How do I know that? I've been going to the gym for 3 years. Never once. I have sometimes. But those 3 years weren't purely on motivation. They were not. It was on discipline. It was on actually committing to what I set my goal to be. It wasn't motivation on the go. And to be honest, when I was stuck for a couple months looking like this dude, you know, fat, chubby, overweight, unconfident, insecure, unhappy, if I'm being honest, I would go on YouTube, search up motivational videos, go on TikTok, endlessly scroll on those motivational TikToks or whatever. And that would just completely waste my time. It spikes your dopamine for like a few seconds and then you scroll off the video and you're back to doom scrolling. That's why motivation should never be your driver. Never be your driver. If you wait on motivation, you'll stay stuck forever. Progress starts when you build habits that don't rely on feeling ready. And it goes back, it kind of connects to the previous step. Stop seeking comfort. You're not going to feel ready. You just have to step out. If you're waiting to feel ready, you're never going to change. Step out that mindset of whenever I'm ready, because you're never going to feel ready, if I'm being honest. And the 5th and final mindset shift is looking at it on the long term. When I was over here, I'd probably have little dips of trying things out for a week, not seeing any progress, and just stop. But little did I know, going from here to here is not going to take 3 months. It's not. It's going to take a couple years. Well, how do I know that? Because, you know, this is me. And it took a couple years. It wasn't an overnight thing. You see, I don't know why I have a copy and paste of something else. But to go to here, I stopped relying on quick fixes. How to get abs in 7 days. I knew once I switched my mindset that I knew it was gonna take a long time. It was gonna take a while. That's when I actually, you know, was like, okay, it's gonna take a while. I'm gonna keep at it. This is the whole point of it. Trial and error. I'm gonna keep going. And I might actually finally be able to reach my goal. And I actually did. So when you're setting a goal, look at it through a lens, a long-term lens. It's not gonna come overnight. If it would come overnight, everyone would have abs, would have a 6-pack, would be muscular. And it wouldn't be as cool, you know, getting abs, you know, having a nice chest, shoulders, having a nice build. It wouldn't be as cool if it was an overnight thing. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard. Because hard things shape people to become who they are. I wouldn't have ever been able to make this transformation if I didn't go through a lot of trial and error. It's not gonna happen overnight. If it was, everyone would have a 6-pack, everyone would look aesthetic, and so on. So yeah, this is a pretty brief, you know, video on how I was able to, you know, close this gap right here. From being this 1.0 version of Josh to being this 2.0 version of him. And I'm happy I was able to make these changes, make those mindset changes, because if not, I would still be 1.0 Josh. And you could also implement these mindset shifts. You know, they don't just apply to me. They apply to everyone. They apply to everyone. Promise you, once you make these mindset shifts, you're gonna be able to close that gap, finally get unstuck, and finally be that version of yourself who's more confident, has more energy, higher testosterone, is happy, is respected more noticed, and has the freedom to take off his shirt wear whatever clothes, doesn't have to wear baggy clothes, black clothes. Get me, because I was there once. I was 210 pounds and I would wear baggy black clothes just to try to hide my fat, but it was too obvious. I was too fat. And if you want to work with me, I'll have a link down below. You can fill that link out. We can have a chat, see if you're a right fit for my coaching program. If not, stick around, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be posting kind of weekly, as much as I can, to give you guys as much value, because I don't want you guys to be, this 1.0 version of Josh. I don't want you to be like him. No one wants to be like him. I was there and I hated it. Now I'm here and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving this new lifestyle. I'm loving this new version of myself. And I'm only gonna keep getting better, right? So yeah, keep those 5 mindset shifts in mind. And if you're stuck right now, trust me, you're gonna get unstuck. You're gonna get unstuck. So yeah, hope you guys found this helpful. Subscribe, please. I would really appreciate it. I'll have my Instagram down below, so you can DM me there if you have any questions, or if you want to work with me, DM me there. And yeah, I post daily on Instagram, so you could get a good amount of information on there. So yeah, peace out.